there's just so many different places to find inspiration. You can find it from nature, which is the most amazing place to find inspiration, right? And you can find it from Pinterest. You can even Google like yellow dressers and just go in and just see a million different ideas of yellow dressers that you can paint. I had a dresser sell on my Etsy shop, and it was somewhere outside of Portland, Oregon. And so my husband and I, because we really don't take vacations very often, we decided we were gonna just go down there, deliver the piece ourselves, and just take a little mini vacation. I started with a coat of DIY beadboard all over the entire dresser. I made a texture medium out of plaster of Paris and a bit of DIY prom queen with a little bit of water. I never really measure anything. I sort of just dump everything in until it's sort of a mud consistency. My husband's gonna kill me if I don't get this screwdriver clean, because I always use his tools. Yeah, look at that, that's perfect. Now I'll take my texture mix and scrape it on the dresser. I'm using a plastic spatula and leaving some chunks, which I will sand down later. I'm just kind of adding it in globs in the corners of the drawers and in random places. So we ended up down in Seaside, Oregon, and all down the coast. We just went from one little town to the next, all the way down, I think, to Lincoln City, which is a pretty long stretch, but there's just a ton of cool little towns on the Oregon coast. The ocean is gorgeous. All the sea life, artwork, you just saw it everywhere. And so this piece, I wanted it to kind of look like a piece that had been maybe on a pirate ship and they just threw it overboard and somebody dragged it out of the ocean in a cool way, not in a grungy, gross way, but like something that you would see on a sign, on a tavern, but it's a dresser. So I ended up using the Sea Queen transfer from IOD, which is now retired. So they're not making it anymore. I do have a few in the store, and it's really hard not to hoard them because they're not making them anymore. I mixed 3 parts water with 1 part Petticoat Pink to get a wash to paint over the dresser. DIY paint is heavily pigmented, so you can really add a lot of water and still get really good coverage. I'm going to decoupage this pretty girl's face on the sides of the dresser. These are Roycycled Treasures tissue papers, which I have available in my shop. I'm going to tear her face in half using a small paintbrush with water to get softer edges, and then attach each half to the sides of the dresser. I think by getting the paper wet and tearing it, it gives it a nice soft edge as opposed to cutting it with scissors. And it's really easy to tear. I've laid out half of her face on one side of the dresser, and starting at one end, I'll lay down some DIY Liquid Patina under the paper and smooth the paper as I go down. Liquid Patina is the perfect medium for decoupage. It was easier for me to lay the dresser on its side so that I could work on a flat surface. I'm not too concerned if there ends up being a few wrinkles in the paper because I'm going to sand it down and I want it to look old anyway. We've done some traveling, but this little trip for some reason was just so fun, and he was just being a goofball. I got a lot of fun little videos of him on the beach just explaining the history of things that he saw, but he was completely making it all up. I probably have 6 little videos of him doing that, and they are hilarious. He is so cute.
We have found one of the ancient navigational crafts that go out into this fine, magnificent sea. Believe this. They left it here as their proof that they were here. They used this to steer with. I'll demonstrate. Like that. Made a long time ago. Probably this morning. What do you think? I don't know, it could be a bonfire though, maybe, I don't know.
And we went to this one little bar in one of the towns, and the bartender every half hour or so, you probably know what I'm talking about, but she'll do the chicken dance song and do the banging on all the bottles. And I wish that I could have shared that here because it's so cute. But I think that there's a copyright. You can't use that music, so I couldn't share it, but it was really cute. So if you get a chance to go down there, you'll probably end up in that place because it, what was it? It was called the Sea Hag, maybe? Is that right? I don't know. I think it was called this something Sea Hag. And then the other thing that we thought would be fun is like we just stopped in every restaurant and had clam chowder. So I don't know, probably 20 bowls of clam chowder. But we stopped in all the shops, we stopped in all the vintage stores and the vendor malls, and it was just a really fun, sweet time. And I think that we need to make it a yearly thing where we just go do that because it was fun to hang out with my sweet husband.
Toasted cow. Here's to you.
I mixed some DIY layered chocolate with a small amount of water and streaked it in random areas. I wasn't really careful about the placement because I really want a rustic barnwood look on this. Here you can see that I'm using a spray bottle of water to keep the paint moving, and I'm also using the technique that I like to use where I take my paintbrush and go up and down and back and forth to eliminate brush strokes and to blend the paint in. This takes a little bit of patience, but if you keep working at it, you will see that it will blend really nicely. I did this on the front of the dresser too. I'm taking a sanding block and sanding back all of the texture medium that has dried and hardened. I'm going to place IOD Barnwood plank stamps down both sides and the front of the dresser using DIY Letterpress Gray and layered chocolate. These stamps are amazing and very easy to use. They also look like real barnwood. I have all of these products on my website at elsielaneboutique.com, and I will put a list of everything I used in the description box below. I decided to scrape a little bit of bead board over the top just to give it a little bit more texture. And I went a little bit lighter with the barnwood stamp on the front of the dresser because I knew I was going to put a transfer on the front. I added the IOD Sea Queen transfer to the front. If you'd like to see the video where I added this, it's on my Facebook page. Or you can find many tutorials on transfers over on the IOD YouTube channel. I'll add it in the description box. I thought the color of this transfer was a little bit dark, so I decided to sand it down a little with a 500 grit sandpaper just to soften the color. Once I finished sanding, I wiped down the entire piece with a soft cloth, and then I sealed it with DIY Big Top.
Legend has it that the great Kraken climbed up out of the sea and made love to this tree right here. This tree's weird. It looks like an octopus, kind of like the Kraken itself. They don't want you climbing on this because it's already been climbed on by the great Kraken. They're afraid that it can't take any more pressure. Impressive. This happened on Tuesday.
I hope that you like this video. I hope you will subscribe to my channel. I appreciate your support. I also love to read your comments. I will answer you if you ask a question, and I have another one coming up soon, and it's going to be a good one, I think. So stay tuned and see you later.
Be wrapped around your arms instead of being